Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge indoor-outdoor pendant called the Umbra. This is the 362001. Hubbardton lists this as an outdoor fixture, but we think this is so awesome that you can use this inside as well. It has a kind of a sculpture of polygons that are kind of hovering over a piece of hand-blown glass. Really, really pretty. Could be used in a lot of applications. Let's talk about the size of the fixture itself, independent of what it's going to be hanging from, and that's coming in at 14.8 inches high. Diameter on the whole thing is 20 inches. When we talk about overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the actual ceiling itself, and you're going to have a pretty good range on this. 20.6 inches at its shortest, all the way to 50.6 inches at its longest, with the pipes that are going to come with this. However, this is going to ship with 92 inches of wire, which means if you guys want to go into the 80s inches down overall height, we just have to order more pipes for you. So if you're in that situation where you need this to be longer than 50.6 inches, just email me and tell me what you need, and then we'll figure out what we can do. If you have to go well beyond what we talked about, then we do custom lengths as well, so it's not a big deal. Okay, product weight, 8.8 pounds. This is aluminum. It's just going to go over a standard junction box. And canopy up in the ceiling is 5.5 inches diameter. It's going to, again, go over your junction box just like that. I want to show you more information about all that. How we're going to do it is we're going to look at the installations instructions right now. So, if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations, instructions, PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list, all these nice parts. It's going to show you detailed drawings of that canopy and how it goes over your 4-inch junction box. And it's also going to show you how to put this together. So, and how we put it together is we're going to put a blanket down on a table or a counter. We're going to take the part that has the socket, and that's going to be at the very end over here. We're not going to put the glass on until the whole thing is up, so wait on that. And you're going to basically figure out how many of these rods and the combination of rods that you're going to need to get to the overall heights that you need from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. And a good way to do that is to look at the chart. There's a chart on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont. That chart is also on that installations instructions page. It's going to show you what combinations of which rods you're going to use to get to the overall heights that you are looking for. You're going to be getting two of the 12-inch, you're going to get one of the 6, one of the 3, actually this is the 6, this is the 3, bunch of these little connectors, and you basically are just going to screw these things together. But before you do that, you're going to take the fixture itself with the wire and the parts that you're going to lay down after you figure out what you need, and you're going to just put that wire through the little parts one by one. So you're going to go through a pipe, through a connector, through a pipe, through a connector, eventually exiting the canopy over there, and then you're just going to screw them together. It just takes a quick second, like this, and boom, you're done. So it's a nice clean look. You barely even see a seam there, and it looks like a solid rod coming down. It's pretty awesome. And then you're going to put it up, and then you're going to put the glass on, which only takes a second, and then you put the bulb in, and you're all done. It's awesome. Let's talk about a couple other things. Let's talk about what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes. It's going to be using a medium base downward facing socket. It's going to be in a housing. It's going to be using an A19 bulb as a recommended bulb, and that's going to be this guy, these guys actually, these two. It's a bulb size we all grew up with. If you want to stay with incandescent, you can go up to 100 watts in this if you want to. If you want to go LED, you can do a lot more. So the recommended bulb size is an A19, and that's really to create a space if you're going to be using an incandescent bulb to make some air between this and the glass. That's basically what that's all about. But if you go LED, put in whatever you like. Whatever can physically fit in that glass is fair game. So you can do these guys. These are kind of cool. This is an A20. This is an A25 in clear, which would be nice. This is an A20 in frosted, same deal. And you can find these at any hardware store. These are those decorative bulbs that usually go over vanities in those long strips from the 1980s, but they still are around. And they're kind of aesthetically pleasing. This looks a lot like the opal glass, so if this is up inside of that piece of opal glass, I think it's going to read more like it's actually part of the fixture than something like this. But it's totally up to you guys. The wattage equivalent is going to be, something that you guys decide on. Like a 75 to 100 watt equivalent would be nice on this. It is a dimmable fixture, so just make sure you get dimmable bulbs. I talk about the color of light coming out of these LEDs in every video. So they're going to offer these to you in something called 2700 Kelvin. That's going to be super yellow. They're going to offer these to you in something called daylight, which is going to be a bluish white light. That's 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. They're also going to offer these to you in warm white, soft white, and that's what I think most people want to get. That mimics the nice light of the incandescent bulb we grew up with, and that's the nice light coming down on my hands now. These are 3,000 Kelvin LEDs that are above us, so that's what we like to use in our showroom. So my pick on this would probably be a 3,000 Kelvin LED, and probably something like this, or maybe even like that. That would be fine too, facing down, obviously. And choose the color of the light that you want, like a 3,000 Kelvin, I just said. But also make sure it's a dimmable bulb so you can dim it if you need to. I want to touch base on Hubbardton Forge's opal glass for just a second. So all of Hubbardton Forge's glass to begin with is going to be hand blown. This piece is hand blown first in clear, then they're going to come in and they're going to blow another layer of white glass on the inside of this. The third step is they're going to take and they're going to sandblast the whole thing on the inside and the outside. That's going to give you this beautiful, mellow, translucent, milky piece of glass. When you look at this and you can see the layers are actually piled up on the inside of this. Hubbardton Forge is very obsessed about details on all of their pieces, including their glass, and that's why you're here, because you're probably just as obsessed about little details as well. Hubbardton Forge only uses aircraft-grade aluminum to make their outdoor fixtures. Aluminum holds up the best in incredibly harsh environments. When you're out and you look up in the sky and you see all those jet airliners running around up there, those are all made out of aluminum for a reason. And part of that reason is it holds up great, like I said. It also forges beautifully. It holds finish beautifully. It doesn't rust. Remember that. It's very important. And they're virtually indestructible when they're all finished. So how Hubbardton does it is they take the fixture itself, they're going to wire it up at the top, they're going to put a wire at the bottom, they're going to send a current of electricity that's going to go through this fixture, making it positive, and they put it into a spray booth with a picture of the woman next to me. You can see she's spraying finish around it, and because it's positive, it's going to adhere to every nook, every cranny, the top, the bottom, the whole thing. After that, they're going to take this and they're going to move it into an oven. That oven is going to melt all of that down and create a very hard shell. So it makes it, again, virtually indestructible. So they've also tested these things in these wind chambers. So they take the fixture, all covered in that epoxy powder coat. It's going to go into that chamber. They're going to shoot salty seawater at it at high velocity for hours and hours and hours, just like you were at the beach and you have like a hurricane coming in, which to me is going to be pretty much the worst environment you're going to run into. So after they tested these and found out that they hold up incredibly well, Hubbardton Forge offers basically the best warranty in the lighting industry. And you can see that on the page for this. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a link, and click on that and it'll show you the entire warranty and how it all works. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. On those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks it's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.